Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Common Sense channel. If this is your first time here, please subscribe to the channel and also hit the like button on the video. And all returning subscribers, please hit the like on the video. All right, we got a court case here. So, I don't know what I'm gonna call it yet. It's gonna be either be careful who you stay with or careful who you live with. But anyway, they're gonna, of course, they're gonna talk about it, and I'm gonna get my take on it. All right, let's begin.
Plaintiff Nelda Bailey says after her daughter passed away, she lost everything and became homeless. Nelda claims she recently rented a room from the defendant, but they did not get along, and the defendant's husband verbally abused her. She's suing her for car damage, stolen property, and the cost of a TV.
All right, let me say this real quick. Yes, we heard her already say she lost her daughter, so let's send my condolences out to her for that. You know, I know sometimes when a loved one passes, people are not the same, especially when a parent loses a child. A lot of times it's very hard and devastating on them. Sometimes uh, that they could, I know it really hurts them really bad, and some people never recover from that. If a parent loses a child, some parents still cope and live on, but some parents don't. Some parents kind of loses it, as they say, kind of snap. They're not, never the same when it comes to that. So my condolences to her on that part. And she said that she became homeless and everything. And like I said, a lot of times when that happens, people get depressed and stuff like that. All right. Anyway, I just wanted to say that real quick, but let's continue.
Defendant Rhonda Ridgway says Nelda only lived with her for 2 weeks, and it was a living hell. Rhonda.
Let me say this. Yeah, that can happen too. Yeah, you live with somebody, whether you're ready to someone you don't know, or whether you're allowing a friend to come in and stay with you, or even if it's a family member stay with you. Sometimes moving a person in or people in, sometimes you can become a living hell. So, like I say, that's why some people, and I can't blame them too much. That's why some people don't allow friends or family members or someone live or come live with them you know because of situations and circumstances like this, and could end up in court like this cases going on there. All right, let's continue.
Claims Nelda called the police to her home every single day, and she falsely accused Rhonda's husband of sexual harassment.
This is not my first time in court. I was first in 2004. I was sued in Judge Judy's court after the death of my daughter. She sued me for the vehicle that my daughter passed away in.
All right, let me say this. This is something I say you got to really be careful of when you're dealing with people, not only just relationship but friendships as well. You got to watch out for certain red flags when you're dealing with people and get to know people, because some people, you become friends with or associate with, some of those people could actually be stock mad crazy, just to put it mildly. Or, they could have, some type of mental issue. Could be bipolar, could be schizophrenic. Who the heck knows? But that's why I say you gotta really be careful with this. And I'm thinking this lady here has some type of mental issues or mental challenge, as I believe, because, of course, like I said, she lost her daughter. And when you lose a child, like I say, a parent is never the same once they lose a child. Like I say, some parents are able to bounce back. Some parents go into a deep state of depression, and even some go, like I say, go off the deep end. They lose it. So it's just something, we gotta, be careful of and be aware of. All right, let's continue.
And since then, I've had some financial setbacks. And I lived in a property for 11 years, and the landlord evicted me. And since that eviction,
All right, let me say this real quick too. That's why I tell, I don't know, her situation, whether she's working or not, but that's why I say, some people, they don't, some people that do work, they don't manage their money very well. A lot of times, that's why some people end up living paycheck to paycheck because they try to live beyond their means, try to live the fast life, the big shot life. As soon as they get money in their pocket, the money burns a hole in their pocket. Then they gotta go out and spend, 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 and never put nothing aside to save. For situations or circumstances like this, it's all right to spend a little bit of money, but you should also save money. You should try to save more than you spend. When you get your money, you pay your bills, put some aside for savings, and then take a little bit to maybe, as I say, splurge. You don't treat yourself, buy yourself, maybe go out or something, buy yourself some clothes or things like that. But, a lot of times when people get into situations and circumstances like this, if they, God forbid, they work and they get laid off or they lose their job, get fired, or get hurt or something like that, they don't have no money to fall back on because they just spent all of it and not saving any of it. So that's just some advice there, people to keep in mind. So to try to avoid situations or circumstances like this. All right, let's continue.
in 2012, I've been forced to be homeless.
Where do you know the defendant from?
I was a mutual friend told me that she knew someone who was renting rooms.
It was not no mutual friend. You didn't even know her. You just met her.
She's a friendly person. When she meets you, you become her friend. What?
No, let me say this. Like I say, you can meet someone. But I say when you first meet someone and you get to know the person, I wouldn't immediately call them a friend. I would say call them an associate. I would say you consider. I would, in my opinion, is what I consider someone a friend is if someone I've really been knowing for a while. Maybe like, for example, someone I've been knowing for maybe 6 months or about a year or so. I've been knowing this person, and I get to know them. They get to know me. We get to know each other. Then yeah, I would consider. Then once I say 6 months to about a year, after getting to know them and seeing them, spending time with them and everything, then I could consider them a friend. But someone I'm just meeting and only been knowing for, as they say, quote unquote, 5 minutes, no, I'm just not gonna throw that out there. Say friends, man. And like I say, I have a lot of associates or acquaintances, but I have very few friends. And all the friends that I do have, I can count them all on one hand. So, so throwing that this person's a friend, my friend. And a lot of times you really don't know who your true friends are as well until, like you said, not only spending time and get to know them, but also through the good, not only just through the good times, but through the bad times. Through the bad time, that's when you really tell who's your true friends and true friends are. Because most people, when everything's going well and everything's going good, yeah, everybody's your friend. But when things start going bad or things start hitting the fan or you really need a helping hand or need some help with something, and that's when you find out who your true friends are. It's something to keep in mind as far as dealing with becoming friends or dealing with friends are. All right, let's continue.
You're right.
You tell this woman who was her friend or who's not.
Yes, thank you.
Hey, we're talking now. We're friends. Go ahead.
Yes, I'd like to say top of the morning to you, Judge, and I know your background out of Detroit, and I'm very proud of you.
Thank you,
God.
my friend. Go ahead.
And
And just and one thing is Judge Mathis, a lot of times if he's in a good mood or something, he'll laugh and joke with the audience and with the plaintiff and defendants and everything if he's in a pretty good mood and everything. And a lot of times it's good to develop good chemistry with a judge when you're going forth before the judge to try to be polite, nice, and maybe try to get him or her to loosen up. Maybe help goes well in your case. But we're gonna continue and see what happens, see how this case goes. All right.
That's because you evil and don't have
I'm
no
not
friends.
evil.
You are. You're evil and you don't have no
I'm a fan
friends.
of yours. I'm not evil.
Go ahead, ma'am.
I just wanted to say through this homelessness, I've pushed forward, and I became an advocate for other people.
There I go.
Situation.
That's what got me, Judge. That
Man, let me say this too. And like I say, a lot of times, being homeless does suck. I've been there before, never want to go there again. And that's why I mentioned when I said a little earlier that it's good to, like I say, try to work and save, manage money and everything. So when things do happen, hopefully, you can have what they say, some people call it a rainy day fund. So that way to help, to kind of help you through a tough or hard situation if something happens. So that way you don't end up, hopefully, avoid possibly becoming homeless. But sometimes, like I say, situations and circumstances can happen. But like I say, it's always good to try to work and try to be prepared for those situations and circumstances. By making, smart and wise decisions. All right, let's continue.
that right there. She's so fake. That right there got me. No.
I believe you.
And so I've been advocating for other homeless people, and it's a lot of us out here. I'm not the only one. I'm out here, and I see who's out here, and we all end up in the same place, but we didn't get there.
How have you been able to survive? Where have you been staying over the years? Different people or
I've been living in my car.
for how long?
For 7 years, sir, almost 8. This is the first time I had tried renting a room, and
No, it's not. No, it ain't. You've been doing this
You don't
for a
sleep with
living.
me.
You've
How
been doing
you
this for a
know?
living. You've been.
All right, let me say this. As you see, they're about to go back and forth with each other. But let me say this real quick. Yeah, that homeless is here in America, here in the United States. It's a real serious thing. It's a real serious problem. And a lot of times, it can happen for various reasons. People lose their job, lose everything. And like I say, don't have enough money saved up. Some people going through a state of depression, getting, high, getting high off drugs or drinking, and they lose everything that way, and then they can end up homeless. So it's, different situations, circumstances can cause a person or cause people to become homeless. So that homelessness is a serious issue, serious problem here in our country. But like I said, we just gotta try to work and see if we can somehow, some way, try to avoid it, if possible. Like I say, by doing certain things to prepare yourself. So when situations or circumstances like this does arise, then you'll be able to press on. All right, let's continue.
Been doing this for a living.
You's a
And you
lie.
know it. No, you's a lie. You know it. And that's why you're
anyway.
homeless, Kathy
Be
Bates.
quiet. Oh, Kathy Bates. What's that about? Go ahead, ma'am.
and so she told me she rented rooms, and February
She
1st.
recommended you to her.
Yes.
Did she tell you she was evil before she recommended?
She didn't tell me that part.
Well, you need to go back to her. Let me hear from you, ma'am. Give me some background.
Okay, Miss Sally is an older lady friend of mine. She also rents rooms, but she didn't have no rooms available. She said, okay, I met a lady. I don't know anything about her, but she claims she was homeless, had been sleeping in her truck for 7 years. I said, well, where did you meet her at? She said, the casino. She said, I met her at the casino.
Okay.
Yes, and I said, hold on. She said she was homeless, and she's at the
Not just the casino, the buffet at the casino.
whatever.
All right, let me say this too, and that is another. I'm glad she mentioned that, and that is another way a person can end up homeless as well too. You know, people who get not only just has different types of addiction out here, but gambling is an addiction as well too. I know a lot of people don't really talk about it or speak about that, but that could explain one of the reasons why she is homeless, has been homeless, maybe because she has a gambling addiction. She gets she gets a hold of some money, then she wants to run to the casino and gamble. Now, like I said, I don't condemn no one for gambling. If you want to gamble, then okay, that's your business. But like I said, but make sure that you prioritize your money when it comes to gambling. Like I said, if you work, first thing you should do after you work, when you get your money, pay your bills first. So always pay your bills. If you live in an apartment, pay your rent. Live in a house, pay your mortgage, or wherever you're living at, renting a room or whatever. Always pay your bills first. Take care of your needs first. And then if you have a little extra money left over and you want to go gamble, okay, gamble the little bit of money you have. But then after you gamble your money and you lose, just call it quits. But don't try not to get addicted, because gambling, like I say, can be very addictive. I've known people that met people who do like to gamble, and some people gamble a lot of money. I'll give a quick story here real quick, not be long here. Years ago, I went on a business trip to Vegas, and I met on the way back home on an airplane. I did meet a lady who was sitting next to me on the plane, and she was talking with a friend of hers, and she was telling her friend that that she lost $8,000, gambling. And I said to myself, wow, that is crazy. $8,000, whew. Yeah. But like I say, some people can afford it. Even, like I said, I wouldn't, me personally, I have gambled in the past, but I would never gamble that kind of money. I don't care if I'm a millionaire or billionaire. I still wouldn't gamble no $8,000. No, not me. But like I said, that gambling is a real serious situation. So, and like I say, some people get addicted and hooked on it, and then they'll spend all their money up trying to gamble, and then end up in situations and circumstances like this lady here. So that could be one of the main reasons why this lady is in this situation. She get money, and boom, she doesn't know how to be responsible with it. She's hooked on gambling, and boom, she takes the money and run and gamble. All right, let's continue.
Okay, whatever.
Go ahead,
So
man.
I said, okay. She said, can you please help her? I talked to her on the phone. She told me a little bit about herself. I thought she was, because she started crying. That's what really got me. It was raining hard that day. I said, ma'am, you no longer have to come in. You sleep in your truck.
And let me say this real quick as well too. And some people, when they're down and out and they're going through circumstances, and someone reaches out to maybe try to help them, sometimes they will use a guilt trip, and they will start to break down and cry and use crying, as a tool, to try to get that, to get the person to feel sorry for them, and to extend a helping hand to them to help them out as well too. So that does happen as well too. So, all right, so people will use a guilt trip, use crying as a manipulation to guilt trip people to feeling sorry for them and to helping them. All right, let's continue.
you can come to my home. You know what I'm saying? Trying to take her in. I don't know.
It ain't free. You
I
wasn't
felt-
doing me no favor.
I didn't know I was taking in Kathy Bates. Okay.
My name is Nelda Bailey.
No, your name is your.
All right. Let me say this too. Yeah, even though, and some people, a lot of times, let me say this as well too. Sometimes when you're feeling sorry for a person and try to help a person, sometimes with the person that you're trying to help, they don't appreciate it. Sometimes they are ungrateful and don't appreciate it, and they feel like that you owe them to help them. And then you would think that sometimes when you reach out to help someone or give them a helping hand, they will appreciate it, but some people don't. You know. So, I mean, she should be thankful that the lady did offer to help her and give her a place to stay, being that she's been living in her car. But some people just don't, don't accept and don't appreciate people helping. And that's why sometimes they are in situations and circumstances like this. All right. Anyway, let's continue.
That may be your birth name, but you are Kathy Bates.
Kathy Bates is from the movie of the
Misery.
woman who tortured the guest.
Misery, yes. The 2 weeks this lady been in my house.
And let me say this for people, just a little side note here real quick. Yeah, saying Kathy Bates, yeah, that's from this movie called Misery. She was, Kathy Bates, of course, was in the movie, was a crazy lady. She loved novels, and this writer had a novel he wrote, and she was so in love with the novel. The man who wrote the novel killed off the character in the novel. She didn't like it. The man accidents, and she kidnapped him, tortured him, and everything. Wanted him to rewrite the novel and everything. Just to give that's where the name Kathy Bates come from. And of course Kathy Bates, a famous actor, and that was the actor that played that role. But anyway, y'all get a chance. If you've never seen the movie, check it out. The movie's called Misery, and starring the actor Kathy Bates, and that was, I think, one of her most famous roles, that she's ever played in. But I just wanted to share that for people who might not know who Kathy Bates is. All right. Anyway, let's continue.
It was a living hell. A living hell. The 2 weeks. I didn't know.
And let me say this too. Like I said before, sometimes when you move a person in or move people in, whether it's a stranger, whether it's a family member or friend, sometimes, hey, it can become a living hell sometimes. Hey. So that's why some people sometimes don't want to take, a family member in or a friend in, or even allow to rent out to a stranger or something in some cases. All right, let's continue.
I was taking in Kathy Bates. Okay.
My name is Nelda Bailey.
No, your name is that may be your birth name, but you are Kathy Bates.
Kathy Bates is from the movie of
Misery.
the woman who tortured the guest.
Misery, yes. The 2 weeks this lady been in my house, it was a living hell.
Plaintiff Nelda Bailey rented a room in the defendant's home, but the defendant claims Nelda only lived there 2 weeks, and she called the police on the defendant every single day.
I'm about to blow your mind. It was done by a neuroscientist named John Cryan of University College Cork in Ireland.
Go ahead, man.
Okay, the first day she got there, she come in there, like I have this chandelier in my house. Oh, you got to move this. Oh, this is a lawsuit. Just trying to control my house felt like it was hers. She started wanting to cook.
All right, let me say this too, and that's another thing that why some people don't like having family, friends, or someone, renting out a room or renting, them a place because of situations like this. Some people, instead of them just being thankful and grateful to live in there, when a lot of times some people will come in there and then they'll try to take over. They'll be like, no, you shouldn't have this here. No, you shouldn't do that here. No, you should move this here. No, you should be doing this here or doing that there. And this is one of the good examples of, why some people don't allow someone, living with them or, moving in with them. Because of situations and circumstances like this. All right. Anyway, let's continue.
What's wrong with that?
No, it wasn't
In
wrong with
my
it.
own
But
pots,
she didn't
by the
want
way.
me. She didn't want me
I
in the
don't cook
kitchen.
in
Nobody in the
burnt-up
kitchen.
pots.
She doing all this stuff so couldn't nobody get in there. My house.
Nobody wants you to interfere with their cooking.
But nobody interfering in her
Getting in
cooking.
her way. She's trying to cook for y'all and
No,
you
she wasn't
interfere.
cooking for me.
Why
I cook
not?
my own food because I cook my own food. And
Did you all ever have a confrontation?
yeah, we did. We did.
At what point? How long after moving in did you all have a
The
confrontation?
day she
and what
moved-
was it about?
The day she moved in, Your Honor, going upstairs, she kept talking about bubble bath. She wanted to take a bubble bath with candles. That's when she came and taking her medication. She said she was on psych meds. That's when she came
I
back
never
down.
Well, I don't know if that's true or not, but like I said, I wouldn't be surprised. She might be on some type of psych meds. Like I said, she did lose her daughter, so and a lot of times when a parent loses a child, sometimes, like I said, they can end up somehow, some way going off the deep end, and possibly, she probably is probably taking medication, to deal with, with the fact that hey, she lost a child, so. That is a possibility. And like I say, you got a lot of crazy people out here who are on meds, and you got some crazy people out here who are not on meds who probably need to be on meds out here. But anyway, let's continue.
Said
Kathy
that
Bates.
is
Yes, you did.
slander.
Yeah, you did. You did.
I did not.
You did. Yes, you did.
I did not.
Whatever. That's when she came down as Kathy Bates, and it just went all bad. Every day I had to leave work, she called the police to my house every day.
Saying what? What type of reporting?
She said I stole her Spanx, which you see how she's bigger than me. I can't fit her Spanx.
All right, let me say this too. And that is a major issue or problem. If you're living with someone, you allow someone to come live with you, and then they're sitting up there calling the police on you, and you allow them to live in your house, and usually after that that's a sign to say, hey, this person needs to go. This person really needs to go. Yeah, that is not a good look. That is not good at all. Someone, let you come in and live with them, even though you are, yes, and you're paying them. Yes, that's fine. And that could explain the reason why she's probably listed to more of this case. This could explain why she's been homeless and sleeping in her car for 7 years, because maybe she's been living with other people and probably doing the same thing that the plaintiff says she's doing. She's probably has done some of the same things with other people who she stayed with, other family and other friends or other people that she's rented from as well too. All right, let's continue.
Then she said that my husband slapped on her, which my house is almost 4,000 square feet. My kitchen is kind of big. So in the middle, you got my aisle there. He was on one wing, she was on one wing, because then I was on one wing. And I was like, how he trying to touch your? He didn't even walk around.
How you know? If you're on that wing,
correct.
how you know what's
That's
happening
correct. That's
on the
what I'm
other
saying.
wing?
I'm right
You just
there.
said that they're the closest to each
She's
other.
dramatic.
They're closer to each other than you are.
No.
You're on this side, your wing, and they're on this side, and their wing.
What I mean?
All right, let me say this as well too, and this could actually happen in some cases where, if like she said, her and her husband together, then they allow this woman to move in with them. You never know. Husband might have been, not saying it's true or not, but in some cases, husband maybe could have been trying to, holler at her, maybe trying to get up with her, to have something on the side. So that is a possibility. But also, maybe it's a possibility that she might have had the hots for the husband. Maybe she might have been trying to flirt with him and maybe trying to hit on him as well, too. And that's another reason why some people don't allow someone, to live in their house as well, too, because of situations like this. Especially, when you have a husband and wife or boyfriend and girlfriend, you allow another person in of the opposite sex. Sometimes, things could possibly happen. If you're your husband and wife, you allow another man to come in. That man might try to hit on your wife, or the wife might like him better, and she might try to hit on him on the side, maybe when the husband ain't around. Or, in a case like this where she allowed this woman to come in, and maybe she liked her husband and try to hit on him, or maybe her husband maybe try to hit on her. So that is a possibility. Can't rule it out. Anyway, let's continue.
No, I
Let
don't
me
mean it
hear
like
from
that.
you, man. Why are you suing her?
The reason I'm suing her is because she takes in tenants from the welfare people. They pay for them to be in her home, and I need to know how she treats people, the welfare people, where she get her money from.
Lady, you crazy. That ain't none of your business. Who pays for these people to be with me?
Yeah, I would say that she's right, and it sounds like this lady's very nosy too. Like she said, she's worried about other tenants and how they're being treated and all that. It's like I said, some people have a tendency of overstepping their bounds, and yes, this lady here is definitely overstepping her bounds. Yeah, I don't understand why she's concerned or worried about what's going on with other tenants and everything like that. I can see if other tenants were being abused or something like that, then yeah, you call the authorities, you get them involved or something like that. But other than that, and that's what happens with some people too. Some people are just straight up busybodies, sticking their nose in where it doesn't belong and stirring up, confusion and drama. All right, anyway, let's continue.
So
It's none of your business.
anyway, and I'm suing her.
And I don't know, I'm looking at Judge Matthew, you looking at her like, it might be a little crazy here. But anyway,
For the damage. I'm suing her for the car. She scratched my vehicle.
That's a
This
lie.
is a picture in front of my
That's a
vehicle.
lie.
How did this come about?
That's a lie.
So one of the days, the day that her husband hit me on the rear,
Oh my God.
I called him a ghetto.
Yeah, y'all just use initials.
Well, okay, yes, sir. Excuse me.
Let's get to the point in which
Well,
you were
that's-
asked to leave and the car damage occurred and the stolen property.
But she asked me to leave on the third day, and I gave her
The
a
first
check.
day.
Quiet. All right, and so what happened after, in what way did she ask you to leave? What were the circumstances?
The husband, he verbally abused me. I'm in the kitchen cooking. The only reason I'm downstairs is to cook in the kitchen. Otherwise, I'm in my room. And he verbally abused me.
No, he didn't. He
Okay,
told
now
you that
please,
you're not
let's
gonna.
get to the point in
Thank
which
you.
she
That's-
said you have to leave.
Well, she said at the third day that I had to leave.
I told you the
And
first
I
day. Get it right.
refused
The
to
first
leave.
day.
Because I had paid her
Correct.
for 2 weeks of
$300
staying.
So
check.
what occurred, ma'am? So what occurred when you refused to leave? What did she say, do, or what occurred?
Well, that's when she called the police.
Okay.
And she thought the police was going to make me leave. But since I paid rent, they couldn't make me leave. And then the next thing, she takes.
All right, let me say this as well too. I say for anybody, man or woman, if you move in with somebody, be it friend, family member, or whoever it may be, you should, try to get something in writing. That way, if you're only going to stay there a couple of weeks or a month or something, you need to also have a receipt for the money that you give them, whether you give them cash, a money order, or a check. Well, you can trace a check, but, cash or money order, I would say, get a receipt. And then also maybe get something in writing and have it signed by a notary stating that, okay, that, your person is written staying here and they're paying this amount of money. So if a person turns around the next day and try to say, hey, you have to leave or you have to go for some reason, at least you have something, a document showing that you have a document showing that, hey, we signed a promissory note or some type of lease where I paid them for 2 weeks or paid to stay a month here. So if I'm going to go, then they need to reimburse me the rest of my money back, for something like that. That's why apartments or people that rent out houses, that's why they have leases for situations like this. And then that's why when I use an apartment or if you live in a house or rent a house and they evict you, that's why they always give you a 30-day notice because when you pay your rent is for the whole month. All right. Anyway, let's continue.
My keys. So since I don't have any keys, when I come and go, I have to knock on the door
Got
to
it.
get in.
Mm-hmm.
So one night I'm coming in about 2 or
4 o'clock in the morning.
First
Like
of
you've been
all,
doing every day.
Quiet, don't get jealous if the woman likes to party.
I'm
Go ahead.
grown.
That's right, she's grown.
Disturbing me out of my sleep.
Party all she
if I
wants.
had a key, I wouldn't have disturbed you, dum-dum.
Stop, ma'am. Don't do any name calling. Don't do any name.
Yeah, as you can see here, this lady is very rude, loud, obnoxious, and very disrespectful, as you can see here. Like she said, just this cracking down, saying, hey, ain't no name calling and stuff like that, was rightfully so. And seeing how this woman acts and everything, I can see why she's been homeless and living in her car for like 7 years. I can pretty much see why, by the way she's acting and carrying on here in the courtroom here, in this case. All right, that's what I say. Careful who you let stay and live with you. Careful who you live with. All right, let's continue.
Name calling in here. Go ahead.
So she started calling me garden hoses and female
Okay,
dogs.
let me get to her.
Thank
Ma'am, you tell me if you know what happened for her to sue you for these things.
Okay. After all the cures with her calling the police to my house, I had to give her 30-day notice.
I joined literally millions of Ohioans in voting to protect abortion in our state. But that could all be undone with Bernie Moreno. He supports a national abortion ban and would silence us to get it passed.
I'm sure Brown and I approve this message.
So I wrote it. So only contact that I ever had with her truck is because she wouldn't let down her window for me to give her the 30-day notice.
Mm-hmm.
She cussed out every police that came. So he told me to put it on the windshield. That was the only contact that I had on that truck.
That's the point. She
Was the
banged on
police
the hood
still
of my
there?
car.
Yes.
and
Police were
scratched.
still
Yeah.
there?
Still there.
The picture.
Yes.
All right, ma'am, were the police still there?
Yes,
Did you mention it to them?
I did. They saw it.
You
They
have
did.
the report?
I do have several reports,
No,
but they
no,
didn't
no,
put
no,
anything.
no, ma'am.
I
ma'am,
had to.
No, ma'am. Listen carefully. I need the report where you told them she had just damaged your car. That's the only report I want to see.
They were there.
All right. So you don't have it written down?
No, and they
She
didn't write
says
down
that
a lot of
she
things.
acknowledges that they were there, and she has a different story of what occurred and what they observed. And her story is more convincing because if someone damaged your car for $2,500 and the police are right there, I'm certainly going to go
He's
say,
so-
officer,
I would've went to
you
jail.
just damaged my car. This is malicious destruction of property. Would you please arrest her?
Thank you.
So what else
Let
happened?
me tell you why she with her truck. So after that happened, the man said that I couldn't set her stuff outside. That to give her.
She
the
had
30-day
did it
notice.
already.
So okay, why you want me to pay for a TV that you still got?
You still have the television you're
I do.
suing for?
The reason I purchased the TV
Now, why are you suing for it today?
is because I didn't need a TV before I moved in.
Oh, Lord. Let me say this real quick. Yeah, like I said, this lady does have some issues, and maybe she probably does have psych issues and stuff like that. And it seems like she is probably, if I had to assume or guess, she's probably on and off her meds. Sometimes she's on, sometimes she's off. And if she is on her meds, says she needs to stay on her meds and keep on her meds, because if not, then she's going to have, outbreaks and outbursts like this. That's why I say, that's why I understand why some people don't allow people to come stay and live with them, whether they're family or friend or whoever else, because of situations, circumstances like this. All right, let's continue.
Okay.
Now I'm riding around with a TV I can't use.
Plaintiff Nelda Bailey rented a room
Well, let me say this real quick. I don't mean to laugh, but say this real quick. Well, if you're living with somebody, you get a TV, and then when you have to leave, you have to take the TV with you. And now that you don't have a place and you ride around with a TV, like you say, you can't use, the judge's not going to reward you for that. Now, if she still had your TV or something like that and didn't give it back to you, then you can sue. All right, let's continue.
From the defendant's home. But the defendant claims Nelda only lived there 2 weeks, and she called the police on the defendant every single day.
You're suing her today for stealing property. What property did she steal?
A spank. It's a form fitting.
A girdle?
Yeah, that's it.
How much you want for your girdle?
$100.
$100 for your girdle. All right. I'm going to grant her that $100 for that property that she set out illegally. With regard to the car damages, scratch on the hood. All right. That's inconsistent with pounding. So I'm going to grant you, ma'am, the $100 for your property. Pardon me?
How did the scratch get there then?
I don't know, ma'am. There's many other ways.
That's how it
and I'm
got
telling you,
there.
I don't believe you. How about that?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. $100 is your judgment. Have a good day, ladies. You still lost, whatever it is.
There you go, Miss. Congrats.
You ought to knew not to come here and try to lie, lady. That's Judge Mathis. You on Judge Mathis.
I just want to let people know if they go to her address, change your mind.
I want people to know when you see that face, you better run.
All right, but anyway, that's it on that. Know who you're living with, or know who you're allowed to come live with you and stay with you. As you can see here, because like I say, sometimes when you allow people or a person or something to live with you, sometimes we don't, if you don't know their background or things like that. Person you allow to live with you or you let to live with you could be, like I say, could be, mentally challenged like this lady is. I think she probably suffers from depression, probably suffers from, like you say, bipolar, and probably schizophrenic as well, too. All right. Like, comment, subscribe, share the video. Comment down below. Let me know what you all think. Until next time, take care. God bless you all, and peace.